Hi everybody! This video is on the topic of how to teach your dog a tucked sit. Now there are many ways that dogs sit, but there are two general ways that people want to train their dog to sit from the standing position, and one way is that they keep their front feet still and then they move their back feet towards their front to get into the sit position, and then there's also the way where the dog is standing and they walk back into the sitting position, keeping their back feet stationary. So if you want to teach that sit, I actually have a video on position changes that I created, and actually that video is why I got a lot of requests for how do I actually teach a tucked sit. Luring the behavior. If your dog has a rock back sit that has a verbal cue like sit, you can begin by using that cue. So I'm going to cue him to sit using his rock back cue at first, so he understands to get into the sit position, but I'm also going to be moving away from him and encouraging him to move towards me, so I might be able to get him to do the tucked sit. The tucked sit, which I actually haven't trained until now. So he's a good dog to demo with, because what we've been working on is the stand to sit like that with the back feet stationary. So what I'm going to do is say sit and then free, and then move away and feed him treats right here in front of me like this in the front position, and then I'm going to cue him to sit. Good. And what I'm doing is I'm lifting my hands up like this rather than the cue for sit, the rock back sit, which is moving the hands into him like that. Instead, I'm doing a gesture like this as I move away. Ready? Free. So I'm lifting the treat up like this. Good. 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 Sit. Good. And I don't want to ruin my other cue, so as soon as I see him offering the behavior that I want, which is tucking forwards and keeping his front feet still, I'm then going to add the new cue, and the cue that I use is called tuck, which is maybe not a cue that you want to use, so you might think of a different one. Because tuck is kind of weird to say in public, and it sounds like one of my dog's names, his name is Tug, so it's not the best cue. Ready? Tuck. Good. Back. Good. And to teach them to get into the stand position after sitting, if the dog knows the cue to back up, you just cue them back up, while they're sitting, and the back feet usually will pop out. Another method is tossing a treat away from you and sitting like this, and then lifting the treat up like this as the dog comes towards you to sit. Good. And you can try using the cue that you already have. Ready? Sit. Good. So there he rocks back a little bit, and I could jiggle the treat like that to get him to come forwards to get it. Now he's walking into my lap, which I don't particularly want him to do, so I'm not going to jiggle the treat too high. Good. Go get it. Tuck. Good. Come forwards a little bit. Come forward. There. That's nice. Good job. Good boy. Ready? Go get it. If your dog is used to the rock back sit, I suggest using high-value treats like this cooked steak or a high-value toy to get that excitement and movement forwards at first. Using a prop. You can use a couch or a bed for this exercise. Lure your dog right to the edge of the couch and then ask for the sit as you stand slightly further away. Most dogs will inch forwards to get closer to you and the reinforcement by getting closer to the edge of the couch. You bet. Back. Tuck. You can also use a smaller platform as a target for their back feet. Back. Good. Get it. Good girl. A canine freestyle hack. The previous techniques I showed are common knowledge in the sports communities. I don't actually know who invented those specific ideas, but they're really clever. One that I found works for some dogs that are just not getting it is doing canine freestyle, where the dog is between your legs like this, and then when you cue them to sit, if they do the rock back sit, they can't see the treat anymore, so they come forwards to check out where that treat is, and you can lure them up like this while they're looking up for the treat. So you can practice walking around and feeding for standing, and then asking for a sit between your legs and feeding here. And if the dog sits too far back, sit like that. You're just going to sit. She doesn't want to sit too far back. You're just going to lure them back through your legs again. Good job. And then when the dog is comfortable sitting like this between your legs, you can then practice with the dog at your left side. Tuck. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support my work, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also become a supporting member of channel Kikopup by clicking the join button. See you later, guys.